You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
Is this real life? I feel crazy. The world is spinning around me. What's happening? You have 4 eyes. I have 2 fingers.
For years, the entertainment industry seemed to treat these moments as insignificant background noise. Clips were laughed off, uncomfortable incidents were ignored, and serious questions were rarely pursued. But with 50 Cent's new documentary bringing old material back into focus, the timeline is being examined differently, and claims that once seemed like mere rumors are receiving renewed attention. At the center are Diddy, whose influence reached across the industry, and Justin Bieber, who entered that environment as a young star. This goes beyond isolated clips or internet speculation. It's about power, silence, and what can remain unchallenged when too many people have reasons to look away.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot.
Man.
Turn that out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Jess.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang with some girls.
A man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about, kid.
Justin Bieber's rise was often presented as a modern-day success story, but behind that image was a much more complicated reality. A young teenager navigating an adult entertainment industry without obvious protections. Archived footage and interviews have shown Bieber around environments where fame, access, and influence appeared to take priority over age-appropriate boundaries. For years, some of these moments circulated without serious examination, often being dismissed as simply strange aspects of celebrity culture. The broader concern isn't necessarily about one specific incident, but about how unusual situations can gradually become normalized. When young performers are exposed to powerful adult environments, who is responsible for protecting them?
Understand? You got people in the industry that's been saying for years, this man is having sex with underage. So now the federal government is looking at that like, yo, when is somebody going to come forward? We got this information, this alleged information, but nobody's willing to come forward. Then they go on and say, yo, Shakur Stewart mysteriously dead. Supposed to be a self-inflicted wound. Person that had everything going for him in their life. Kim Porter dead. Somebody's car gets blown up. This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, then have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making
50 Cent has spent years portraying himself as someone outside Diddy's inner circle, while also claiming that he was aware of what was happening around him without being involved. His previous comments were often dismissed as part of a long-running rivalry, but they are now being viewed through a different lens amid legal scrutiny and renewed public attention. That doesn't automatically make every statement or allegation true, but it does change how some people interpret those earlier warnings. Criticism from a rival is often easier to dismiss, especially when the person delivering it is considered an enemy. The larger question is how many warning signs get ignored simply because people don't like the person pointing. Wasn't limited to making music. He reportedly had significant control over access to influential spaces where careers could either take off or come to a standstill. Justin Bieber's proximity to that environment reflected an industry structure in which opportunities could depend heavily on connections to powerful figures rather than clear and transparent systems. In that kind of environment, access itself can become a form of power.
Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house. And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right. Not at all. And somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, he was an A-lister, he was younger, you know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too. Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro.
Right. But when you heard the news that Diddy, he had to cheat with another man, did that catch you by surprise or no?
Well, all this shit is by surprise to me. A lot of this shit is by surprise to me, to be totally honest, man. Because I knew Puff, I knew.
The bigger concern isn't simply what may have happened behind closed doors, but why there appeared to be so little visible oversight. When a person's career depends on staying close to influential people, personal boundaries can become increasingly difficult to maintain. That raises an important question. In an industry built around powerful gatekeepers, who has enough authority to say no, and what happens to those who choose to walk away?
I knew Diddy before he was Love and Brother Love and back to Diddy. So, no, but the diddler, he's the diddler now. A lot of it's surprising, but it's not unheard of. Because you hear of all kinds of shit, and whether it registered with you or you internalize it or something like that, that's a whole nother story. But a lot of this stuff is crazy. But this is the world that we live in now, man. That these individuals thinks is all right. Bruh, when does it comes all right to be sitting there eating food off a naked woman? When did we start doing what they do? Let's keep it a buck. When did we start doing what they do? These guys is popping pills. These got Jay-Z dancing with a chick that's...
Years before Justin Bieber became famous, Usher publicly discussed being introduced to Diddy's environment as a teenager and later described being exposed to adult experiences at an unusually young age. That history is relevant because it provides an example of a young performer entering the same type of powerful environment before Bieber's career began. When similar patterns appear across different generations of young artists, it becomes harder to dismiss them as isolated coincidences. The bigger concern is whether the industry learned from earlier experiences or simply allowed the same structures to continue. If concerns existed before, why weren't stronger protections put in place for the next generation?
Might make you change your mind. Look at Lil Nas X. He fizzled out fast too.
So would you say someone like Justin Bieber's a victim? I just seen he is reportedly selling his whole catalog because he's broke.
Yeah. Yeah. And once he finishes getting that money, I don't understand why he's broke. He didn't have to be broke. Usher just wouldn't stop robbing him.
Damn.
I mean, Usher couldn't keep his hands out of his pocket. It's funny. He got him signed and turned over custody to Diddy. Boy was never the same, and neither was Usher's pockets, because Usher's been living off of Justin Bieber's money. He ain't been living off of his own. Because the truth is, Usher don't really make that kind of money. And I'm really just kind of sick and tired of Usher Raymond.
Yeah,
I'm really kind of disgusted with Usher Raymond, who does Greek wrestling nude with men over Frosted Flakes, allegedly. Like, I'm sick and tired of this guy who everyone knows got the Diddy bumps, who's been sued for passing them on and lost, is still sitting there disgracing women in front of their men who bought the tickets to like that whole scheme.
He's causing a lot of divorce courts.
But why? He don't even want them. He don't want them women. He's literally doing it just to destroy relationships.
As scrutiny surrounding Diddy increased, Many celebrities who had been connected to him over the years remained quiet, while 50 Cent continued speaking publicly about the situation. That contrast highlights a difficult reality within entertainment. Speaking openly can damage relationships and careers, while staying silent can protect them. Loyalty and self-preservation can become difficult to separate. This doesn't necessarily mean everyone who remained quiet was acting out of fear. Some may have been making calculated decisions within an industry where maintaining relationships can be essential. But when silence becomes the safest choice, meaningful accountability becomes much harder to achieve.
A video of an interview of Justin Bieber, and he was talking about Billie Eilish. And he was like, he was broke, almost in tears. He's like, I just want to protect her. I just want to keep her safe.
Yeah.
What do you think he went through?
Because he knows what's been happening to Billy. Just like everybody knew what was happening to Millie Bobby Brown girl with Drake. These people are monsters.
Real life. It ain't real life. Just ain't real thing. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Jermaine Dupri said something interesting. He said the reason that R&B isn't as powerful as it is anymore is because children are going to church.
Yeah.
What is it about the transfer from the spiritual to the secular do you believe that's what made R&B so powerful?
Understand this. Rhythm and blues was a combination of gospel and soul music. Because soul music has always been around in one form or another. It's just evolved throughout the years. And you got gospel, rhythm and blues. That's what put that together. That's why they made such a big stink about the Ray Charles incorporating gospel sounds into secular music. Because they wanted people to separate the two. This is demon, this is good. The truth is none of that's real. There is no bad, there is no good. There is what is and there is what is not. And that's sad. But when you take the spirit that comes.
Justin Bieber has never publicly accused Diddy of criminal wrongdoing. However, Bieber's later discussions about anxiety, losing control, and experiencing emotional struggles add complexity to the broader conversation. He has spoken about becoming overwhelmed at a young age while surrounded by adults with their own interests and expectations, without necessarily having the experience or resources needed to protect himself. Those reflections are important on a personal level, while still not establishing criminal conduct by any particular person.
Testified against Diddy to the grand jury and had to give up 8 videotapes to the feds that contained celebrities in these freak-offs with Diddy, is now listing some of the names that he saw on these tapes. And this man said that he got these tapes from a very close friend of Kim Porter's, and these were Kim Porter's tapes that she was going to use against Diddy. And some of the names that he says are some that we have heard rumored over the years. He said he saw Justin Bieber on this tape and he appeared to be underage during this time. He also saw Usher on these tapes and Usher definitely appeared to be underage. And this one gave me the chills because we've heard that Usher is the one that sent Justin Bieber to Diddy. Courtney Burgess sat down with the Too Strong channel here on YouTube and started naming some of the celebrities that he saw on these tapes.
Were kids involved in these parties that you can verify from looking at the tapes?
If Justin Bieber was older than he's supposed to have been, yes. If Usher was older, well, Usher was definitely young.
Okay.
You understand? It showed the part where the blood was all in his bed. You understand? It looked like they came home from a event, a party or something.
Went on to explain how Danny Boy was also in one of these videos with Mary J. Blige and Diddy together. And Danny Boy admitted when he was 15 that Mary J. Blige flew him out to New York and he slept with her while he was underage.
The issue here isn't necessarily a legal accusation. It's the human impact of growing up under intense pressure. Emotional harm doesn't always come with a formal allegation or a clearly identified event. Sometimes the effects only become visible years later, through struggles that are difficult to connect to a specific cause. If there are broader problems within an industry, perhaps the conversation shouldn't depend entirely on one person making one specific accusation before those problems are taken seriously.
Mary J. Danny Boy, okay.
You know what Danny Boy is?
I heard that before. I don't, I've been so far away from hip hop, I forgot, but I have heard that name, Danny Boy.
Danny Boy back then, he looked like he was about 16. They both was out.
He also claimed that Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, were in these videos, and he also said that there was photographs and videos of Diddy eating off of young girls.
Pictures or images of any of this stuff?
Yeah, I got Justin Bieber, Will Smith's son, just whatever his name is. Other females on the table, they was young. He was eating off them. A lot of entertainments in there. I got calls from certain wanting to get the tape out of my hand. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
And I have said that if this man testified to the grand jury, the feds had to have some reason to bring him in to actually testify against Diddy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about this man naming all of the people on the Diddy tapes in the
Once Diddy's legal case reached federal court, the discussion moved beyond speculation and into an established legal process. Charges, court proceedings, verdicts, and appeals placed limits on what could responsibly be stated as fact while also allowing broader questions about the industry to be examined. Courts determine legal responsibility for specific conduct, but they don't necessarily resolve every cultural or institutional question surrounding a case. Legal outcomes and moral judgments aren't always identical, and a courtroom decision doesn't automatically answer every question about the wider environment that existed around the people involved.
Do you think he has a mole or an informant in his camp that's cooperating?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had drug charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on a plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One, to make a witness out of him, or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for drug charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use? I'm gonna give you something different. And I'm gonna give you something else that people don't even think. On the other day, I seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up and he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep.
Check this out. What if the federal government have already talked to Justin Bieber? And Diddy did that on tape. That means in his mind, he think this person may be a witness.
The connection between 50 Cent, Diddy, and Justin Bieber ultimately points toward a much broader issue within celebrity culture. Power tends to accumulate at the top, while younger and less influential people often carry greater risks, with accountability sometimes arriving only after serious problems emerge. Youth can be marketed as authenticity, access can be presented as mentorship, and staying silent can be treated as professionalism. This isn't necessarily a story where every claim can be established with certainty. Instead, it's about recognizing recurring conditions and asking why similar patterns can continue within powerful industries.